11 weeks old, and they are becoming increasingly difficult to keep together for filming these vlogs. Every time they see the camera, they're over and they're trying to knock it over, they're getting too close, and they're just generally being a complete pain in the backside. However, we shall see how they weigh today. So Mr. Purple and Mr. Blue here have finally caught up and surpassed the weight of Mr. Green. That doesn't really come as a surprise. They've been steadily catching him up over the last few weeks. Mr. Black, of course, is still way out in front. But I suspect that by the time these are all mature adult cats, they will all be roughly the same weight. But it's really pleasing. They're all gaining weight well, so they're doing very nicely. Kittens have managed to remove one of the dangling toys off the little climber they've got, and this is causing a great deal of excitement. So they're all running around, they're each trying to grab it for themselves. There's a lot of growling and hissing going on. It regularly gets dunked in the water bowl and we find it floating. As you know, I've been talking about trying to see the colour of the markings on these kittens. As they're now that little bit older, the colour is starting to come in on the legs, and I'm hoping the camera is picking this up. You can start to see the colour on the front feet particularly, and also on the front of the back feet. The trouble I have is I still can't really see the gauntlets at all. The gauntlets are the white part of the marking on the back leg that comes up the back of the leg. Now obviously they're quite important. They need to actually be there. They ideally need to be fairly even, and they mustn't go beyond the hock of the kitten or just not be there at all. So, and until I can actually see them, I'm still in a little bit of limbo as to which of these kittens to potentially keep. Now, from what I can see on their feet, it looks like Mr. Purple is perhaps a bit low, Mr. Green looks okay, Mr. Black I think may also be okay, and Mr. Blue is perhaps a touch high. But until their colour comes in a bit more, I really don't know. And that's the trouble with these really pale, diluted colours, so your lilacs and your creams, because the colour takes so long to develop on them that it makes it very, very difficult to see what the white markings are like. Now, of course, if these were all going to go as pet kittens, it really wouldn't matter what their markings were like. But because they're not, I'm looking at potentially keeping one as a future stud. He does need to be right, which makes it very difficult for all concerned. However, you know, they're just rising 12 weeks. They're going to be having their second vaccine in about a week's time. So hopefully the colour will be stronger by then and I might have a better idea. I will be genetically testing whichever kitten I think I will be keeping using a swab in the mouth, which I then send off to a lab. If two of the kittens, for example, Mr. Black and Mr. Green, are quite similar, and I'm not sure which one to go for. The genetic test may sway it one way or the other. But, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.